Making headlines, the UNODC hands over drones to the MPS to strengthen maritime safety and security. The Foreign Ministry announces that Maldivians can now stay in Thailand for up to 60 days without a visa. And the High Commission of Pakistan in Maldives donates computer systems and laptops to the Islamic Ministry.
Welcome to the English News. I'm your host Malak Ahmed Fayaz. Now for the news in detail. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime UNODC hands over drones to the Maldives Police Service MPS to strengthen maritime safety and security. The drones donated by the UNODC were officially handed over in a special ceremony held at the Ministry of Homeland Security and Technology. The drones will be used by the Marine Police Division of the MPS. The agreement for the handover was signed by Minister of Homeland Security and Technology Ali Ihsan and Enrico Bonenciana, the head of the UNODC office in the Maldives. UNODC has supplied 2 drones capable of both water and aerial operations, which will be used for short-range missions. Speaking at the handover ceremony, Minister Ihsan highlighted that the drones would significantly enhance the capabilities of Marine Police in ensuring maritime safety and security. He noted that the drones would also support operations by the Maldives National Defense Force MNDF Coast Guard, improve efforts against maritime terrorism, and ensure the safety of police officers during operations. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs announces that Maldivians can now stay in Thailand for up to 6 days without a visa. The Foreign Ministry said that the government of Thailand has introduced new facilities for Maldivians traveling following changes in immigration regulations effective July 15th. Maldivians visiting for holiday, medical treatment or business purposes can now stay in Thailand for 60 days without a visa, according to the updated visa policy between the Maldives and Thailand. Additionally, the ministry said that if there is a need to extend the 60-day visa, it can be prolonged by any additional 30 days by submitting a request to the Thailand Immigration Department before the initial visa expires. The ministry also urged Maldivians traveling abroad to secure travel insurance before their trip and to adhere to the local laws and regulations of their destination country. Thailand is a country frequented by Maldivians for various purposes such as holiday, medical treatment and business. It is also a country where Maldivian families are residing for higher education purposes. The High Commission of Pakistan in the Maldives donates computer systems and laptops to the Ministry of Islamic Affairs. A statement made public by the Islamic Ministry noted that Pakistani High Commission has donated 10 computer systems and 7 laptops. The systems were handed over during a special ceremony held at the Islamic Ministry. The systems were handed over by the High Commissioner of Pakistan to the Maldives, Muhammad Fayaz. The systems were accepted by Minister of Islamic Affairs Dr. Muhammad Shahim Ali Saeed. Speaking at the ceremony, High Commissioner Jilani highlighted the strong bond between Pakistan and the Maldives and remarked that both the countries would work together to strengthen Islamic relations. He stated that Pakistan will continue to assist the Maldives. Meanwhile, Minister Shahim expressed gratitude for the continuous support and assistance provided by Pakistan to the Maldives. Minister of Homeland Security and Technology Ali Ihsan pledges to ensure that every individual in uniform within all institutions under the Homeland Ministry will provide services with integrity. He made the remarks during the flag hosting ceremony commemorating the 134th anniversary of the Maldives Customs Service. The ceremony took place at the Customs Building where Minister Ihsan and Commissioner General of Customs Yusuf Manu Mohammed jointly hoisted the flag. Speaking at the ceremony, Minister Ihsan acknowledged the challenges faced by customs officers in providing services, emphasizing that no uniformed service is easy, especially those at the borders of the Maldives. Additionally, Minister Yusan committed to holding uniformed officers to a higher standard in serving citizens, ensuring the enforcement of laws. He pledged to maintain integrity among all uniformed officers and expressed his desire to align the services closely with the public's expectations, focusing on both border security and trade facilitation for the Maldives. He also highlighted President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's vision of delivering prompt services to the people and expressed hope that the public's perception of the customs service would improve over time. The Maldives Customs Service was first established as Bandara Vihara on July 18, 1890. The service was renamed the Maldives Customs Service on November 11, 1998. The Maldives Customs Service was transformed into a civilian institution outside the Civil Service Act with the ratification of the Maldives Customs Act on May 11, 2011. The Maldives Immigration detains 118 expatriates operating businesses illegally. The expatriates were detained as part of ongoing efforts to hunt down illegal businesses operated illegally by foreigners.
Speaking at a press conference, Controller General of Immigration Mohammad Shamman Wahid disclosed that the authority, along with Maldives Police Service, has conducted 42 raid operations since November 17 last year. He added that a total of 2,069 expatriates were deported and 118 expatriates were detained as part of the operation. Additionally, Deputy Chief Immigration Officer Mohammad Shifan shared that the deportation process of the detained expatriates are underway. He also shared that the authority has so far inspected 6 markets, 7 retail stores, 17 takeaway places, 3 spas, 5 restaurants, 1 cafe and 3 mobile shops. The Controller General of Immigration has stated that identifying expatriates involved in business activities which are not permitted and taking legal action against them are their current priority. Shamman emphasized the immigration's efforts to resolve the issue, affirming that the current operations will not be halted. Shamman has earlier issued a warning stating that legal action will be pursued against individuals who employ illegal expatriates as well. He emphasized that it is unlawful to engage in financial transactions with foreigners or to hire unauthorized foreign workers according to the Maldives Immigration Act. Shamman also noted that violators will face penalties as stipulated by law.
Maldives Immigration launches a special online platform to report illegal immigrants as part of their ongoing efforts to curb the issue of illegal immigrants in the country. The platform was launched by the Controller General of Immigration, Mohammad Shamman Wahid.
Speaking about the newly launched platform, Immigration Watch, the Controller General of Immigration stated that the platform will allow Maldivians the opportunity to work with the authority to solve the issue of illegal immigrants. He noted that the platform will allow anonymous reports of illegal immigrants and attempts of illegal entering. Shamman added that those with relevant information can use the platform 24 hours a day. He noted that pictures and other relevant documentation can be submitted to the portal. The portal can be accessed via imuga.immigration.gov.mv. According to the Maldivian constitution, foreign workers can only be brought into the country if there are available vacancies and they are eligible for the work through relevant agencies. However, numerous instances of immigrants bypassing these regulations have been reported. Efforts are underway to centralize information on all foreigners in the Maldives into a unified database aiming to resolve related issues within a 3-year time frame.
The General Purpose Committee of the Parliament approves to amend the regulations that makes VIP services available to individuals that travel with parliamentarians from the Villana International Airport, VIA. The amendment was passed by the unanimous vote of the committee members that took part in the vote. VIP services were provided to parliamentarians, their spouses and children as well as their parents during the last 2 parliamentary cycles. However, during the last parliamentary cycle, the rule was changed to provide VIP service to others traveling with parliamentarians as well. The first meeting of the committee held on the topic initially decided to not bring any changes to the rule. However, the committee decided to review the decision in view of the current economic situation of the country during a later meeting. An amendment is proposed to the Legal Profession Act to restructure the Bar Council to include only lawyers.
The amendment was moved to the Parliament by parliamentarian Hussein Sharif. The first reading of the bill has now been heard in the Parliament. According to the current Legal Profession Act, the Bar Council is made up of 7 members, including the Attorney General. However, Sharif's amendment to the Act proposed to include only lawyers in the Bar Council without the Attorney General. The amendment states that the Bar Council will consist of a President, Vice President, and members elected from among the lawyers. The parliamentarian noted that the purpose of the amendment is to provide the Bar Council with complete independence. It was noted that the Act aims to let affairs of the lawyers be arranged by representatives elected on behalf of the lawyers. Additionally, the amendment also includes the necessary amendment to the law to allow official agencies and registered educational institutions to affix their stamps of origin and conformity to documents issued. Currently, only lawyers authorized by the Bar Council can attest or stamp conformity with the original. The Legal Profession Act was enacted in 2019 with the aim of creating a separate independent body called the Bar Council to protect the rights and privileges of lawyers working in Maldives and to regulate all matters relating to the practice of law.
The Department of National Registration (DNR) and the Gulf Alif Atoll Council signs a Memorandum of Understanding MOU to implement an ID card printing system in Gulf Alif Atoll. The MOU was signed by Deputy Minister of Homeland Security and Technology Ahmad Ali and President of the Gulf Alif Atoll Council Ibrahim Shaheen. Under the agreement, ID cards will be printed within the Atoll Council premises, and a distribution network will be established to deliver ID cards to all islands within the atoll. DNR aims to issue ID cards promptly, striving for 24-hour turnaround time from the time of request. To achieve the goal, the department is developing a comprehensive system for printing and distributing ID cards across the atolls in the country. In addition, efforts are underway to create an online portal that enables individuals to apply for ID cards through their local island councils. The Maldives Qualifications Authority (MQA) says that it will take action against higher education institutions offering online courses without proper authorization. In a statement, the MQA said that it received complaints about institutions promoting and conducting programs without obtaining the required e-learning permission. Online programs were allowed during the COVID-19 pandemic, but the permit was revoked on April 28, 2022. Following the revocation, the MQA said that the program accreditation regulations and e-learning guidelines for online courses will be published in the Government Gazette. As such, it said that institutions must now seek MQA permission to conduct online courses or programs, leading to an increase in applications for such permission. Furthermore, MQA advised students to ensure that any course they enroll in is registered with the Ministry of Higher Education, Labour and Skills Development and approved by the authority. It said that the delivery method of the program should be verified on the qualifications registry on the authority's website. It also said that certificates from unaccredited programs will not be accepted by the MQA. Moreover, the MQA said that it will enforce the program accreditation regulations against institutions that advertise programs in violation of the authority standards. Online programs recognized by the MQA in the Maldives can only be conducted after the authority has directly assessed and issued a permit to the higher education institutions. A union statement says thousands of Boeing hourly workers voted in Seattle to authorize a potential labor strike if ongoing contract negotiations stumble. The result was generally expected but came on top of renewed scrutiny Boeing is facing after a series of troubles, including a January incident in which a fuselage door plug blew out during a flight. President of International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers (IAM) District 751, John Holden, said that they want the company to take their proposal seriously and bargain earnestly. The initial vote, which passed nearly unanimously, provides advance notice to the union so members receive strike benefits if they vote to strike on September 12th. This comes before union members see a proposed contract. A second vote would be required on September 12th to strike if members reject the contract. The local unit represents more than 30,000 people working at Boeing plants in nearby Renton, where the US aerospace giant's 737 is assembled, and also in Everett, where the 777 is put together. A strike would freeze activity at both factories. The two sides began talks in March on a new contract to replace an agreement that has been in place for 16 years. That contract expires at midnight on September 12th. Boeing said in a statement that they remain confident that they can reach a deal that balances the needs of their employees and the business realities they face as a company. Holden said workers are fighting to change this company, warning that it has put livelihoods at risk. Holden has demanded a substantial salary hike, at least 40%, as well as provisions for healthcare, retirement and job security. He called a hefty wage-like imperative after workers only received nominal cost of living support over the last 8 years despite massive inflation. New York Prime Minister Keir Starmer hosts dozens of European leaders as he gets to work repairing relationships strained by the Conservatives' Brexit years. Ukraine, illegal migration and energy security are on the agenda at the European Political Community EPC meeting at Blenheim Palace, the birthplace of Britain's World War II leader Winston Churchill. Starmer, who led Labour to a landslide election win over the Tories 2 weeks ago, has pledged to reset Britain's relationship with European allies as they grapple with challenges ranging from supporting Kyiv after Russia's invasion to breaking up people smuggling gangs. The EPC will fire the starting gun on the government's new approach to Europe, one that will not just benefit them now but for generations to come, Starmer said before the one-day summit at the stately home near Oxford, southern England. The government said that Starmer will tell fellow leaders that the UK will take a more active and greater convenient role on the world stage to strike genuine partnerships that have impact on people's lives. He will also say that border security will be at the heart of the government's reset with Europe. More than 380,000 undocumented migrants crossed the EU's borders last year, with tens of thousands making their way to Britain. Starmer has promised to smash the gangs behind migrant crossings of the Channel from northern France in small boats which dogged the Tory administration under Boris Johnson, Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak. He said that the meeting of European leaders is an opportunity to push on and begin delivering on the people's priorities. The conference will also see Britain reaffirm its ironclad support for Ukraine and likely push for continued international military and financial aid to be supplied to Kyiv. Gareth Southgate's exit as England manager in the aftermath of their painful Euro 2024 final defeat to Spain leaves the Football Association facing a difficult task to find a suitable successor. Southgate admitted it was time for change and for a new chapter for the national team when he resigned on Tuesday after 8 years in charge. Selecting the right man to author the next pages of England's torturous bid to win a first major trophy since the 1966 World Cup will not be easy for the FA's headhunters. The governing body has been keen for Southgate to stay on beyond his existing contract, which was due to expire in December. But the 53-year-old's decision to quit has put in motion a tricky succession search that will ideally be resolved by the time England travel to the Republic of Ireland for Nations League tie on September 7th. When FA Chief Executive Mark Bullingham said his advisors ponder the potential candidates, they will find a list filled with question marks about their ability to handle the unique pressures of a role Graham Taylor once dubbed the impossible job during his time in the England hot seat. Newcastle boss Eddie Howe and a trio of former Chelsea managers in Mauricio Pochettino, Graham Potter and Thomas Tuchel are said to be the leading contenders. Potter was installed as the early bookmakers' favourite, but the 49-year-old's reputation is tarnished by a dismal spell in charge at Stamford Bridge. After earning plaudits for his impressive work with Brighton, Potter was axed by Chelsea after less than 7 months as struggled to handle the squad's big personalities. Potter had been brought in to replace Tuchel, who was sacked despite winning the Champions League with Chelsea in 2021. Although Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola and former Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp are likely out of reach, the FA are said to be willing to consider foreign coach. NASA announces that cost overruns and delays have forced it to cancel a planned moon rover it already spent $450 million to develop, marking a significant setback for the agency's lunar exploration program. The Volatiles Investigating Polar Exploration rover, Viper, was intended to explore the lunar South Pole in search of ice and other resources, paving the way for planned crewed missions by American astronauts under the Artemis program later this decade. Nikki Fox, NASA's Associate Administrator of the Science Mission Directorate, said that decisions like this are never easy. She said that in this case, the projected remaining expenses for Viper would have resulted in having to either cancel or disrupt many other missions. The mobile robot, which NASA has hoped would venture into the moon's permanently shadowed craters, where ice reserves have endured for billions of years, was originally planned to launch in 2023. But in 2022, the U.S. Space Agency requested a launch delay to late 2024 to allow more time for pre-flight testing of the Griffin lander vehicle supplied by the Pittsburgh-based company Astrobotic under the new Commercial Lunar Payload Services (CLPS) program, a public-private venture. The launch readiness date of the rover then slipped back further to September 2025, while the cost was projected to rise to $609.6 million. Joel Kearns, Deputy Associate Administrator for Exploration in NASA's Science Mission Directorate, added that Congress has been notified of the agency's decision. The rover was completely assembled but had not yet undergone certain tests that would certify it could withstand launch flying through the vacuum of space and experiencing extreme temperatures. But it was still possible the rover could be reused in future missions, either in whole or in component parts, if NASA could reach a suitable agreement with industry partners who might be interested. That's all the news we have for today. Thank you all for watching.